God, I'm so good right now. We will keep track of where these characters go. I want to call out the Vi for Tainted Ones, as well as the Corki for Sagi. So, keep your eye on those two picks.
Now, before we continue with the draft, I actually want to point out that now it's going to be a very underdog versus a very, very well-known team. Once again, just like Todak as well from last game. So it's going to be quite surprising if RTZ takes this really well on game number 1. And I do root for the underdog still. So I don't care what draft is going to happen. I'm going to root for RTZ.
Your bans are Katarina Alistair out of Berjaya, with RTZ Underrank getting rid of the Gragas and Ziggs. Garen first pick as well. I'm having a great time.
Now looking at the bans, yes, Arsta has been really not. It's been picked and banned most of the time, so it's really, really strong. It's definitely the S tier, and we do see hopefully pick that Teemo, man, pick that Teemo. No. But we're gonna see Camille instead. Teemo, hey, I'll give $5 for them for Teemo.
Are you trying to bribe the teams? We're only an hour into the broadcast. You're trying to bribe the teams. Come on, Jackie. I thought you were better than this.
Well, we do see.
We will get that Garen. And the Garen's very exciting for me because I frankly haven't seen any Garen across all of the European play I've casted to this point. Following it up with a Lee Sin and a Braum, much more traditional picks over for the Berjaya Dragons over on RTZ Underrank, as you were talking about. You do have the Twisted Fate. Presumably in the mid lane with Graves to take up the jungle. Camille versing that Garen in the hands of Crown up top.
We see another Corki once more again, dishing out some damage. Will it be as good as
Heavy's
Corki? We're gonna see
Yoshi. I think we'd see at least one Corki this series. Oriana on the opposite side will match the Twisted Fate in the mid lane. To watch out for is the Twisted Fate's kind of roam potential. This is very powerful, of course, in League of Legends PC. You can show up in any lane at any time and find a kill. In Wild Rift, it's even more powerful as all teleports are, because you can show up in a lane and then get back to your lane before you even miss a wave because of the smaller size of the map.
I have a question. What do you feel about this Garen pickup, actually? I don't see it in the tier list, actually.
Yeah, I was talking about that. The Garen is not in any way meta, at least that I have seen. And I haven't been following the Malaysian scene. I haven't been following a lot of Southeast Asian competition. It's been a cycle for RTZ Underrank. I do like Janna here in Wild Rift, but it's going to be into a Kai'Sa, into an awful lot of aggression with the Lee Sin as well. And I just see the fact that they don't have a tank is a potential problem for RTZ if they don't land all of their stuns and knock-ups perfectly. This game starts aggressively with Berjaya Dragons poking into the jungle, trying to steal away some Raptors, start the game off with a bang.
This is starting to feel a little bit similar to another game I know called Mobile Legends with 3 mid. But
I don't imagine we...
Yeah, you first?
I don't imagine we hold that position. This is, I think, just trying to enable this invade. But it has worked. You can see that 3-man mid group now going into the jungle and successfully stealing away an awful lot. The big trick now is to stop RTZ from managing to get all of that back on the opposite side, you know, set up a vertical jungle. We'll see if that happens.
I say this reminds me of 3 mids because in another game, the Mobile Legends scene has run a 3 mid, and it might have affected Wild Rift in some way or form. I'm not sure how the PC one goes, but I've heard that when Wild Rift released, some Mobile Legends player brought their strategies into Wild Rift, and sometimes it works.
Oh, they were so confident that they would get that scuttler from the burning from the red buff. Blowing my mind. It worked. I would like to confirm that we did not see a counter invade from OWO. They did not get any jungle back, which means there's a pretty massive gold lead for Berjaya Dragons at the very start of this game.
What do you think the objective of this Garen should be right now, since it's off meta?
Not getting poked down by the Camille. The higher mobility of that Camille is going to make this lane so hard to play. Saki is in trouble in mid though, as the duo mid that RTZ are continuing to run, their AD carry support duo hanging out in the mid lane, is continuing to work. It's not optimal for a lot of reasons. I think foremost among them that Poinards is running Twisted Fate, who has teleport range. You want to put that in the middle of the map so they can teleport in either direction, right? That maximizes the efficacy.
I think that RTZ, judging by their draft, I think they just need to do whatever it takes to protect Twisted Fate to dish out some massive burst damage. However, on Berjaya, they revolve a lot around Kai'Sa and the rest of the team to sustain and keep her alive. So it all depends who can protect their dishing out damage well.
I do think you need to flip it as well and talk about, you know, what tools they have to access the backline though. Because that's the battle between Tainted Ones on the Lee Sin and Crown on the Camille. Those are the two dive sources. Poinards in trouble as we will get one half of that. Tainted Ones with a good kick to start things off, does find this stun, but won't recast the resonating strike. Not interested in chasing behind turret.
And it'll be 6 seconds left before the first Drake spawn. And will they actually go for this one? Who's gonna get for this one first? It's gonna be a Mountain Drake popping up.
Tainted Ones in the area. Interested in locking down vision, picking up the Rift Scuttler at least.
RTZ, I don't think they're responding quickly enough against Berjaya Dragons at the Drake area. I don't think they're going for it.
Yeah, they do.
They're just playing around.
They do have essentially a 4v4 developing there, but RTZ can't start the fight with that Rift Scuttler down. They'll just be spotted very instantly. So instead, they need to take their time. Teleport is being spent into the mid lane as the Twisted Fate prepares for this fight. Here it is, Destiny cast. Watch out for that TFTP. We are going. There it is, Poinards out of the space with the gold card instantly deployed, but the redemption is there. Valkyrie finds nothing. Drake is so very low. Backline dive from Tainted One. There's no smite on the Drake, but it will be picked up by Berjaya. They lose Tainted Ones on the dive. However, Hextech Ultimatum. Now they've lost two, as Sagi falls as well. You've lost your Kai'Sa, you've lost your Lee Sin, but you have got a Mountain Drake.
I feel like RTZ won that fight because Braum just stunned onto Graves, and that was it. He just missed everyone else, and then they just capitalized on that control. The Chili missing out his ultimate.
Yeah, quite a lot of kind of engage going awry there. I'm going to particularly flag Tainted Ones, who recasts a Resonating Strike, you know, full Lee Sin dive into like a 1v4 in the backlines, while the Drake's still being taken. That was very, very dangerous, because Tainted Ones is the majority of the team's damage and does have smite at this point in the game. So you really, really want Tainted Ones on the point to smite away the Drake. It worked out because the Kai'Sa burst is essentially a smite if you land all the techs. But it was very dangerous. It could have been smited away by RTZ.
Lee Sin is staying nearby the little pit here on the Rift Herald, but we'll be going back, and they're definitely gonna be going on for the mid tower. Gonna mid up at mid tower and go for the Rift Herald.
Rift Herald has arrived. Sheldon themselves, half HP already. RTZ are here to contest. There's the Destiny, but a Shockwave denies any hope of entry. Rift Herald will be picked up by the Berjaya Dragons. Yet again, the Valkyrie goes wide. Hextech Ultimatum will be deployed, though. It's a quick lockdown onto the back line. Front line Garen will do so much damage, though. And that is Point Iron's gone. Deleted by the full focus. Everything you were hoping for over for RTZ. They do not get the Rift Herald. And they have lost the fight advantage they earned earlier. That gold lead has just evaporated.
It's just not too far away though for the gold lead RTZ and Berjaya Dragons. But they do get the objectives well done, so let's see where will this transition to with the Rift Herald. Preferably, I think they might use it on the bottom, but judging on how they're locating, I think they want to use it on mid.
Karuto responsible for that fight. I would say this is another really good Orianna performance. Point Iron's not able to find anything there. And most disappointingly, Crown, found their target. Sagi did get locked down by the Hextech Ultimatum in the middle of that fight. And they didn't get to do anything with it. Berjaya, had their theoretical star carry locked down. And RTZ didn't get anything out of it. Just 15 seconds on the next Drake here as we head towards our second Drake of the game. Jam were putting an awful lot of emphasis on it earlier, but they don't have control of the river right now.
Berjaya still have the Rift Herald, so the Drake's gonna be up. I mean, the Drake's already up, so this could be
the Drake's already being taken.
Berjaya.
The Drake is gone. Destiny is spent, so there is vision on this. Glacial Fissure locks up the front lines, though. Drake's already gone, and a quick kill over. It's my god, this Garen is working. Monsoon will be deployed. The Hextech Ultimatum dropped onto Zizune, but it does not stop him. The damage being thrown in from Sagi on the back lines, and here is that Rift Herald. Sheldon asks, did you miss me? Turret gone in the mid lane. 2 kills over to Berjaya. And they now have a 4,000 gold lead at the 10-minute mark.
You see that? They took the Rift Herald and then just waited until they got the dragon completely for free. Well, almost free, but it was really late. RTZ reacted a bit too late. And then once they got the dragon, they just pushed down to the mid tower and then summoned up the Rift Herald, and it definitely did a lot of damage for that. Now it's a 4K lead. Now it's a 5K now, right now.
Mm-hmm. The numbers adding up here. As, you lose one fight, it's kind of weird. RTZ, they're fine, but now 2 to 3 small skirmishes going Berjaya Dragon's way. And you're starting to worry about their late game potential because RTZ don't have game-winning late-game team fights, so they read the room as well as we do and say, let's try to end this game before we go late. They start the Baron. Berjaya spot it out, and RTZ have to abandon their Baron rush.
Good reaction coming in from Berjaya, not letting RTZ breathe at all. And I thought it was going to be a team fight coming, but RTZ can't go in at all. Berjaya dominating the map so far. They have taken 0 towers on RTZ side, but Berjaya, they've taken almost everything so far. Bottom's going to be taken out. All the tier 1's going to go down right now.
And this is what I was talking about with where does your late game team fight come from if you're RTZ? they do not have the tools to keep the Lee Sin off of the backline. Unless Shanks is perfect, which you can't expect him to be. And you have so much damage available now from the Orianna, from the Kai'Sa over on Caruso and Sagi. I just don't see a way back into this for RTZ.
That's right, TJ. Tainted is just too much troublesome against the Twisted Fate. Just diving in. And then Sagi just doing all those damage as she can. And now Berjaya Dragons, they're just gonna be going up for the next objectives.
The Garen we doubted is also a huge part of this game so far.
Well, we didn't really doubt it, the Garen.
I did. I won't put words in your mouth. I doubted the Garen. But doing a lot of damage on the front lines of these fights and also being a very operable tank. Like, this has worked out incredibly well, and the Garen is actually the player with the most gold in the game. So take that as you will. Dive in here in the mid lane. Sagi, killer instincts forward underneath the turret and will find the kill. RTZ lose Shanks. And that means there's nothing to protect your back lines, even theoretically, as Sagi continues to just step forward and land auto attack after auto attack. Guess what time it is?
Drake time, let's go! It is now Drake time. Objectives for Berjaya over and over again. They're going to be catching up all of these turrets soon.
Berjaya able to win the fight in the mid lane with perfect timing, immediately turn over towards the Drake. And that fight comes from Sagi just spotting an opportunity, killer instincting in, and nuking Shanks, just absolutely destroying them.
But the Baron is alive, and they will be taking it. Tainted once.
Tainted has just cleared out all vision for the surrounding area, but don't believe there's any reason to risk going for the Baron itself at this point for Berjaya. They have such a comfortable lead.
RTZ needs to do whatever it takes to come back from this, but it's just that Tainted Ones just keeps going onto the backlines, distracting onto RTZ's damage.
And the worst part is there are multiple threats now, right? And what do you do if you're RTZ? How do you get past Garen and Braum to access an Orianna or Kai'Sa who at this point could one-shot anyone you send?
Well, like you've said, just wait for a
forced.
mistake.
Vision is on the board. Dive over the wall for the steal. Oh, he gets it! RTZ steal the Baron! It is not, in fact, the smite from Oo, but an auto attack from Yoshi. That is incredible!
Now that advantage coming in onto RTZ sides, is this enough to make it a turnaround?
Jasune steps too far forward, perhaps upset over the loss. Nearly pays the price. Lots of damage onto Chili as well. Very low HPs across the board. But do RTZ dare step up forward? No, they do not. This was why I said I didn't believe Berjaya had any interest in going for the Baron. Show me this. It is literally an auto attack that gets that. Because they can just wait. They are winning the game at that point. Their choice to go for the Baron while the entire RTZ team are on the board introduces unnecessary risk. They could have just waited till they were able to force a team fight, won the team fight and won the game. Now RTZ do have a couple moments with this Baron to try and make something happen.
But Berjaya, they do have the map control so far, so it's definitely not too big of a loss if they could just play the cards carefully right now up against RTZ.
Turret will go down. Here's the push ever further forward. Nothing found in that bottom lane. And Guess what time it is?
It's hero time. Or Drake.
Dragon time.
Or Drake. Or Drake.
Yeah. It's going to be the Elder Cloud Drake, which is not the most important of drakes, but still, of course, gives true damage because it's an Elder, so... Especially with 3 prior drakes in the bag, Berjaya will win the game if they get it. There's no two ways about it. And I'm worried. 15 seconds on that, game-ending timer. And what are RTZ doing? They're resetting. They're going back to base to get their buys. 5 seconds now on the timer.
And they will be getting this Elder Drake, the Cloud one. And it seems like RTZ, they don't want to let this, if they let this go, it will be a GG for RTZ, I feel.
Player advantage on the map. However, Tainted Ones does get stunned up. That gets dangerous. Killer Instinct in. Oh, Sagi can't find the kill. Heal saves the day. Yoshi stays alive. Oh, Woe is there in the area as well as the deep dive continues. Its destiny popped, but nowhere to teleport. Tainted Ones over the wall, knocked into stasis. Yoshi still alive. Shut down as the damage is there from Karuto. And that should be game.
Or they could
Punard's
just walk back.
not able to get anything done. Berjaya win the team fight. They'll now turn for the Elder. And I don't see a way to stop it, save another steal.
Tainted Ones doing really well here, going in, being the first one up ahead, and manages to almost die, baiting out RTZ. But then the whole entire team of Berjaya Dragons, they're just too good at reacting, along with the Tainted Ones.
I mean, Karuto just has so much damage at this point. What do you do? I can't believe Sagi got away with that. Sagi Killer Instincted, like, into a 1v3. It was just fine.
Well, that's why Berjaya is well known, apparently.
Here's the Baron. Berjaya focusing it down. Destiny is procced. They know what's up, but he can't do anything about it. They'll try and force a fight forward. Pointart's TPing in, dropping the gold card, but all this damage is going on to Zisune, who is a Garen and doesn't notice. There's the first pickup. Oh, Killer Instinct! Sagi continues to jump forward. They're going to find another free kill, and that's going to be the Braum Glacial Fissure actually locking things down, as Berjaya with a very flashy final fight will take game number 1 in this series, bringing them to a